The first time you find out that you're going blind, it could be the most horrible, worst, heartbreaking experience for you and your family. You don't know what to do, and you feel like no one will understand you, and you feel like your career choices are limited, and you feel like it's going to be difficult to get around, and you feel like a burden to your family, friends, even to the person that you're going to be with in your relationship. I don't know if you think about that because finding out could be at any moment, at any stage. You could find out when you're little, even if you're born with it. You don't know that you're blind like me. I didn't know that until I was about 6 or 7. I didn't know that I was different. I thought it was normal to have a teacher show me around, have a teacher teach me Braille. I never thought that people didn't do that until people started to challenge me and ask me, "Can you see this? How many fingers am I holding up?" That's when I realized that I was different, and people kept calling me, telling me that I was special. And there could be other people that are going blind later in their years, like at 12, 13, the hardest time of your years. You're becoming a teenager, and you have to learn everything and start all over again. You have to use a cane. It's so different, especially even worse as an adult. It's like you thought you had it all figured out, your career and everything just falls apart. But have you ever thought, how can I overcome my blindness and make it my strength? And trust me, I know it's hard in the beginning, and I know that it's okay to think that your life is over, and it's okay to feel like depressed and question why me and why nobody else, and it's okay to hate the world, but eventually you gotta step out of that. You gotta move forward, because if you don't move forward, you don't step out of it, you're always going to be in that victim mentality, and you're going to always think that the world has it out for you, that people don't understand you, that everyone is going against you, that people don't want to hire you because you're blind, because that people don't want you in your taxi because you're blind, that people don't want to be with you, be in a relationship with you, that because you're blind. And maybe that is true. Maybe that's what people do think. But why should you have that mindset about other people? If you keep thinking that way, you're always going to run into the same type of people because you have them in mind. You already are saying the outcome of what's going to happen next. It's natural to do that, but why can't you tell your own story and say, okay, today I'm gonna run into this Lyft driver, they're gonna let my dog in, and maybe when I go to get a job, the person that is gonna hire me is gonna like my skills, is gonna like who I am as a person, and the interview is gonna go smoothly. And then people could be like, well, I gotta face reality, the truth. Like, according to the statistics, 1 in 1 million people get hired, and that's the truth. And especially if you're a woman, well, it says here that we won't get paid as much as men, and now that we're blind, even less. And do you feel that that way you're drowning yourself in hopelessness, and you're creating this reality for yourself and thinking that you can't do certain things. In high school, I wanted to do so many different things, but I let people talk me out of it because I felt like I couldn't speak up for myself, and I felt like I didn't have power. I was trying to take the easy route. Like, people, I would tell them I want to do astronomy, and people were like, well, maybe that's too visual, maybe you should overthink that, maybe you should have something else, because that career might not work out for you. So then I thought, I want to be a psychologist, study psychology. They're like, oh yeah, that's perfect. Or then I was like, study communications. Oh yeah, sure. Everything that didn't involve something hard, something difficult, something out of the norm, people would always shut it down. Many people say you have to deal with blindness, you have to cope with blindness. You already have it, now deal with it, cope with it. But it's not dealing or coping with it, you have to overcome it. Dealing with it and coping with it is something negative, I think, because, like, just deal with it. When I think of people saying just deal with it, it kind of puts me down. Like I'm dealing with something difficult, I'm dealing with something hard. That's not how I want to look at it. And sometimes when they bring up the word deal or cope, you tend to want to look away from it and think of other ways to ignore it and not deal with it. Like, I don't want to deal with blindness right now, so I'm going to do something else and I'm going to try to fit in with everybody else and I'm going to maybe watch a movie and maybe eat some food or something that makes me not think about it. Like right now, I'm starting to understand I am where I am and it's okay. Many people always told me, you know what, you gotta be healed. I gotta pray for you. When I was in church, when I was even walking in the street, people would be like, "Can I pray for you?" Or people would be like, "I'm so sorry," and just apologetic. There's a lot of pity, and then people don't want to talk to you because you're blind, and it's so hard. And then you're like, I don't understand where people are coming from. You get angry at them, but you don't have to get angry at people that don't understand your life, what you're going through, because they're going through other things. And you may not understand what they're going through, where they're coming from. So some of us have to be the bigger person and figure out maybe we can meet them somewhere in the middle and explain our situation. When I was little, I always asked, when is the cure coming? When is the cure coming? Doctor would be like, oh, maybe in 5 years, maybe in 10 years, maybe in 20 years. And I was like, okay, finally, I decided, you know what? I'm not going to wait for a cure because it's just keeping my hopes up. It's making me think of other ways like, oh, maybe one day I could see and I could do everything that I wanted to do. But no, I don't have to hope for one. I can just be where I'm at, and then eventually, when it comes, it comes. And if it doesn't, cool. If it doesn't, oh well. But it shouldn't stop you from doing what you really want to do, like traveling, seeing the world, getting that dream job that you always wanted, and never limit yourself because you don't think that you're gonna get it. If it's hard to get up there and it's hard to get through those people, maybe you need to build a big community to help you out. Maybe you need other people's advice, other people's ideas to get you to figure out a way to get to where you want to go. But never say, I can't do it, so I give up. I can't do it because there's no other way. Instead, you can do it. You just have to find that way around it. How did you do it? How did you get to where you are now? How did you learn how to read? How did you learn how to write? It was a process. It took a while. It took longer than any other kids. How did you get through school? And look at you. You planned everything. You planned routes. I planned routes. Like when you travel, you have all these apps, and it's not like before. You can't even get lost. You have so many resources in your disposal. You have like all those amazing apps like Blind Square or Google Maps, the Beacon app. You obviously also have people to run into to tell you where you're going. Never think that you're a burden to anybody, to your family, to your parents, to your friends, your significant other, because they're with you because they love you and you're probably teaching them things that they would have never learned without you. You probably taught them patience. You probably taught them that, oh wow, the world is different. There's so many other people with different disabilities. There's other blind people, and oh, they can do more than I thought they could. And you probably taught them to love more unconditionally than before. And you're giving them that glimpse into your reality. And it's only a glimpse because they don't really know what you're going through, but they're supporting you along the way. They don't know how you feel. They don't know what the things that you need. They don't know what you can do, and they don't know what your real limits are. The only person that knows all those things is yourself. And if you let other people decide your own limits, then you're only gonna put that wall in front of you. You're only going to put barriers on yourself and where you want to go and what you want to do, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to put those type of barriers because you're just going to be there comfortable. You're just going to make other people think, well, this is what they can do, and I knew it. And I understand there's a lot of people that are disabled or blind that are in SSI and they think, oh well, SSI is good. It's not good enough. It's not good enough for anybody. That's not enough money to keep you alive. It's not enough money to have fun. It's not enough money to give to other people. And it's not enough money to travel. You want more. Everyone wants more. And whether you're blind or not and watching this video, we all have strengths. We all have weaknesses. But how can you make that weakness your strength? Always think of the positive aspects that it brought to you. I'll tell you what it taught me. I am becoming a little more patient and understanding. Things are just going to take a little longer for me, and that's okay. The next thing is I'm detail oriented. Every little detail that's going around me, I have to pick up, I have to listen where I'm at, no matter where it is. I can listen to everyone's conversation, the cars, everything. It just happens naturally. Memorizing is something that you probably picked up because you have to memorize all these routes. You don't can't look at the signs, you can't look at the street. You have to remember every turn, bump, every smell, everything you hear around you to use those senses to your advantage, to know how and what is going on around you. Think about all the amazing people you met along the way, your journey. You wouldn't have met them. You wouldn't have done things that you would have done. Like I wouldn't have gone rafting. I wouldn't have gone skiing. All thanks to this, I was able to learn to fundraise, to help out, and to meet other disabled people that I thought I would have never met. And I learned a lot from other people. And this allowed me to, never feel pity for someone that is disabled, someone that I don't know and I don't know their story. I'm not gonna feel sorry for them. They don't want to be that person to be sorry for. I probably told you all the things that how I can make my blindness my strength, but what are yours? Comment down below. What are your things that you've learned from being blind? What has what can you offer to everyone else? Because beneath your blindness, you're just a person. You have these goals, these aspirations. You have a gift of a lot of things. Like everybody, everyone has a gift, a talent that you can totally put out there that you can use to help the world, to help yourself. Before I used to think, how can I prove myself to everyone else? How can I make people think that I can do everything and make them think that I'm just like everybody else? But now I'm like, I don't gotta prove myself or my worth to anybody else. And they can think whatever they wanna think. It's not my place to force people to make them have this view of me. If I think that I'm worth more than everyone thinks I'm worth, that's all I need. I know that I'm worthy and I know I can get to where I want to go. And people are always constantly going to keep reminding you about your disability and what you can and can't do. But shut them out. That's all you can do. Shut them out. Shut out those voices that are making you go deep into negativity, that are making you go back, that are making you look into the past and think, I should have, I could have, I would have, and maybe if I wasn't, it would have been easier. Maybe if I could drive it, what life would have been easier. But you're not going back. All you can do is be here now and look at what you have and look what you can do and look at where you want to go. That's all. And that's for everyone else. The past is not your present. The past is not your future. The past is the past. I feel like it was me who decided, you know what, I'm gonna see the world in a different way and I'm going to learn from it. And if I didn't think I could handle it, then I probably wouldn't have done it. But I think I did it for a reason, or at least that's what I want to tell myself, or want to tell myself that from now on. I don't want to look back anymore and put myself in that stress and make me feel sad and depressed because of what I didn't get to do. Just think that the world is really learning from us and that there's great change going on by you, by other people that are trying to help you. There is new things, new inventions going to happen, and pretty soon the world will accommodate everybody instead of us trying to accommodate ourselves, instead of us trying to figure out ways of how can we figure this out. There is nothing wrong with that because that makes you very innovative and creative. You're always looking at how can you do this better? How can this help you? How can you find ways to get things done? What is going to make things easier? And some people may say, well, we are already accommodating you in a lot of ways. Like what? Only school has certain accommodations, but they don't fully help you. They don't teach other students in different ways when we need to be taught in different ways. But slowly and surely, it's going to happen. Who knows? Maybe you'll figure it out. Maybe you can help out. Maybe you can be a teacher. You just can't let it hold you back. You can't let it define who you are and what you're going to do and what your limits are, because there is obviously no limits on what you can do. That's only in your head. That's only been implanted by other people's beliefs about the things that they told you. So you can always ask yourself, how can I make my blindness my strength when you're looking back and feeling bad for yourself or down? And you could write them down and really look at them and be like, oh my gosh, this is what I learned. This is person that I've become because of it. And this is what I can do. Maybe not at that moment, because when you feel down and upset, there's nothing that comes to mind. Trust me, I know, because when I'm down and upset, all I want to do is like just be in that moment and just eat ice cream or just lay in bed or take a nap. And that's okay. I'm not saying it's going to be easy to get through it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't feel bad or you shouldn't feel sad, but there's always a way to overcome anything if you really want to. Be grateful for the people that are trying to understand you. Be grateful for the people that have helped you along the way. Be grateful what you have taught other people, and just hope that, but don't expect for the whole world to want to understand you, to want to accommodate you, to want to make things easier for you, because we all are coming from different places. We don't understand completely each other's lives, and that's in general. We don't understand, and there's so much to absorb, like knowledge. And I don't really know what a lot of people around the world are going through, and I shouldn't know that much about what everyone else is going through, and that's okay. It's only what you're interested in. And you shouldn't feel guilty about that. Or you shouldn't hate someone because they don't understand you. You can just move on, and eventually, more and more people that will understand you will come along. I think there is no such thing as a weakness. A weakness is just a form of learning. A weakness is a form of pushing you forward. A weakness is a way to make you feel uncomfortable so you can learn new ways to do things. A weakness is creating new experiences. A weakness is just the word that it creates fear, but it's not. It's just a stepping stone to making that fear, that uncertainty your real strength. There's no such thing as weakness, but there is such thing as an experience, and that experience creates strength, and strength builds character, and it makes you feel powerful, and it makes you want to do everything, and it makes you want to conquer the world. And most importantly, it gives you hope, and it gives you faith, and it brings you joy, and it feels like you be integrated into society just like everyone else. And that's what everyone really wants. And if you like this video, please subscribe and hit the bell notification to get notified of other videos that I'm going to come up with. And if you found this video useful, hit that like button, and I'll see you next time.